Chapter 895. Boss. Gao Yong hugged his guitar and looked at Qin Jinhao with uneasy eyes. He had just sung 2 songs, one was his favorite, Lu Chen's, You Who Sat Next to Me, and the other was his own most proud work. Normally, Gao Yong would be full of confidence when singing this work, and he would be able to win the favor of the audience. However, when he performed in front of Lu Chen, he did not have the slightest confidence, and his worries even affected his performance. To be honest, Gao Yong wanted to slap himself. He did not know how many times he had dreamed of today's scene, but when his dream came true, his performance was terrible. Lu Chen did not give a direct evaluation. He just whispered a few words to Qin Jinhao and Sister Na, nodded at him and left. This made Gao Yong very depressed. He realized that he might have missed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be able to become a resident singer of Forget Grass Bar is not an easy thing. In this circle, it is unknown how many unknown singers wanted to occupy a position here but were unable to do so. There are also many small famous or even well-known singers who took the initiative to come here to sing for free. In Forget Grass Bar, there are the best singers and bands in Hohai, the most picky and enthusiastic fans, customers, and many talent scouts from entertainment media and record companies, as well as all kinds of entertainment reporters, music critics, and so on. They all came here because of one person, and that is Lu Chen. Nowadays, in the entire pop music world, there is no one who does not know of Lu Chen's experience of making his debut and becoming famous. The beginning of his journey to the top was in this bar, where he used the song, You Who Sat Next to Me, to open the road of incomparable stardom. And Lu Chen is not only friends with the bar's owner and lady boss, but also has shares in Forget Grass Bar. Although the proportion is very small, it is precisely this deep relationship that makes countless Beijing drifting singers who are eager to become famous flock like ducks. Some of them want to repeat the path of Lu Chen, some out of worship for Lu Chen, and some hope to be able to get a chance to prove themselves, but opportunities were few and far between. There was a popular joke in Hohai's circle that it was more difficult to enter the Forget Grass Bar to work as a resident singer than to enter Beijing Conservatory or Zhongmin. Not only was Gao Yong extremely lucky to get this opportunity, but he was also able to play and sing his own work in front of Lu Chen. It was an extremely glorious thing to say, and he might even be favored by an entertainment agency because of it. However, things seem to have been messed up by him. Don't think too much. Qin Jinhao patted him on the shoulder with a smile and said, You're just too nervous. However, Lu Chen's evaluation of you is not bad, but don't expect too much. What you need most now is to settle down and accumulate. Qin Jinhao quite liked Gao Yong. He could see traces of Lu Chen in the latter. They were both young, talented, and untainted by the things in the industry. However, the current Gao Yong was still too immature. Gao Yong was somewhat at a loss. Qin Jinhao's words made him feel happy, but also a little disappointed. Sister Na said softly, Little Gao, what Jinhao means is that you don't be impatient, don't worry about missing the opportunity, study hard, and polish your work seriously. Gold will always shine. Gao Yong finally understood and nodded hard, I will work hard. He was no longer confused, and regained his courage and confidence. Sister Na and Qin Jinhao saw this and couldn't help but smile at each other. The latter took out a concert ticket and handed it to him. This is a gift from Lu Chen. Work hard. Gao Yong took the ticket, and his heart was about to fly. He had long wanted to buy a ticket to Lu Chen's concert, and even deliberately saved a sum of money. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to buy a ticket. He didn't expect that Lu Chen would directly give him one, and it was a VIP ticket priced at 2,888 yuan. The anonymous VIP ticket has laser digital anti-counterfeiting, but there is no identity verification. Although it is not in the best position, it can be transferred to others. Gao Yong knew very well the preciousness of this ticket. If he wanted to sell it, it was estimated that he could sell it for several times the price, which was worth the money he worked hard to earn in a month or two. But Gao Yong didn't have such an idea at all. He held the ticket tightly, as if holding his future. At 7:30 p.m. on January 18th, the tickets for the first concert of Lu Chen's, Zhong Ai Yisheng, Beijing Olympic Sports Center were sold simultaneously on the official website of Qinfei Media and the official website of QQ Music, with a total of 75,000 tickets. The Olympic Sports Center is one of the largest stadiums in Beijing, and is often used to hold large-scale performance activities. It is the dream of countless singers to hold a solo concert in this circular stadium. However, the venue of the Olympic Sports Center is not so easy to apply for. There are many singers who apply every year, but only a few can really pass it. Qinfei Media also applied for Lu Chen a few months ago, and it was finally approved. The Olympic Sports Center can accommodate more than 100,000 spectators in total, but if it is arranged as a concert, the number of spectators will be reduced by about 10,000 to 20,000, and the total number of tickets for Lu Chen's solo concert is about 83,000. Of course, these tickets can't all be released at once, because many of them are complimentary tickets, some are prizes for fan lottery, and a small number are reserved for mobile use. As a result, the 75,000 tickets that were put on the two websites on time at 7:30 were snapped up in just 10 seconds, and QQ Music only took 4 or 5 seconds to announce that they were sold out. This is very shocking. It should be known that among the 75,000 tickets, there are the cheapest ordinary seat tickets of 388 yuan, and there are super VIP tickets of 18,888 yuan. But no matter what kind of tickets, they were all sold out in a very short time. In fact, such a situation is not surprising, because the rules and time of ticket sales were announced a week ago. Countless fans have registered accounts and registered their ID cards in advance, just for tonight's rush. Many fans are not from Beijing or around Beijing at all, and they are still fighting online. If it weren't for the fact that Qinfei Media's official website has recently been expanded and renovated, it is estimated that the server will be down. Even so, there are still a large number of fans who failed to get tickets and have run to blogs to complain. It's gone in 1 second, so depressing. I was stuck when I clicked on the payment button. As a result, it's gone after a refresh. I'm vomiting blood. Whoever is kind enough to let me have a ticket, I'm willing to pay double the price. It's bound to your ID card. You can't get in if you don't match the ID card. It's too expensive. Are all the people who got the tickets cheating? I didn't get one either. In the comment area of Qinfei Media and Lu Chen's blog, they are full of complaints and dissatisfaction. Chapter 896. In recent years, the entertainment market has been flourishing. Every year, there are dozens or even hundreds of solo concerts of stars in China, held in different cities, and there are even more commercial performances. Opening a concert is a symbol of a singer's strength, which has a considerable impact on his status in the circle. Therefore, some second and third-tier singers have to open a concert even if they are not popular enough, and even hold it in a large venue. There are really a lot of singers who pretend to be powerful. Although it is difficult for them to sell too many tickets, the ticket price is still not ambiguous, so there often appears the situation of scalpers selling tickets at a 50% or 30% discount before the concert begins. And for stars with real appeal, concert tickets are not worried about sales. In order to increase profits, some agencies hoard their own tickets to artificially increase the popularity, and then use scalpers to increase the price and sell them. Lu Chen and Qinfei Media didn't do such a tasteless thing, so they put 75,000 tickets on their official website and QQ platform at one time, but they didn't expect them to be snapped up in seconds. According to the data from QQ Music, at 7:30, the number of hits on the ticket purchase page exceeded 1 million, and the number of netizens who snapped up tickets exceeded 300,000, while QQ Music only had 40,000 tickets to sell. A large number of fans were very unhappy that they couldn't get tickets, so they blew up the blogs of Lu Chen and Qinfei Media. This made people speechless. In fact, Qinfei Media still underestimated the enthusiasm of fans and the long-suppressed demand. After all, Lu Chen's concert came a little late, 4 years later. After emergency consultations, Lu Chen and Qinfei Media teamed up to hold a lucky draw on their blog and used 1,000 free tickets to appease these disappointed fans. Although compared with those fans who couldn't buy tickets, 1,000 tickets was really pitiful, but it also reflected Lu Chen's sincerity. There were only so many tickets, and it was impossible to increase the number of seats in the Olympic Sports Center. As a result, this temporary ticket lottery made the visit data of Wave's blog skyrocket. The number of reposts of Lu Chen and Chenfei Media's lottery blog exceeded 1 million in just 1 hour, setting a new record. After all, the lucky ones were in the minority, but fans who couldn't get tickets and lottery tickets had other choices. Because after Beijing, Lu Chen will tour several big cities such as Haijin, Huhai, Hangzhou, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Shancheng, Shacheng, and tickets for different shows will be released in turn. With the tickets sold out, Lu Chen's first concert at the Olympic Sports Center also entered the countdown stage. Look, Teacher Lu, this is our site layout, mainly the stage location. This is the distribution map of the sound system. We have chosen Germany's PVM, which has 28 sound units, including 16 tweeters, 8 mids, and 4 bass units. It has a built-in multi-channel power amplifier module and DSP digital processing channel. It can achieve precise coverage of specific areas and prevent sound from overflowing into areas that do not need coverage. There are also giant LED live broadcast screens, a total of 4, in the conference room of Chenfei Media's headquarters in Beijing's New Era Art Park. Pictures flashed on the projection screen. A middle-aged man held a laser pointer and introduced to Lu Chen, Chenfei, and Lu Shi with slight excitement. This middle-aged man was the largest cultural performance contractor in Beijing. Its scale and strength were among the top in China. Since its establishment, it had successfully held thousands of big and small performances, including the concerts of many stars. Lu Chen's A Lifetime of Love national tour concert, the project application, venue rental, sound and dance, security logistics, etc., were also outsourced to this company. Although Chenfei Media could handle many of the tasks themselves, it would cost a lot of manpower and material resources, and a lot of time. Outsourcing to a professional company was the most suitable choice. For example, if Chenfei Media bought the sound system at the concert site, it would cost at least tens of millions, and they would have to hire professionals to install, maintain it. Now, as long as they paid a rental fee, they did not have to think about it anymore. Although the rental fee was not cheap, it was still very cost-effective compared to buying it themselves. In another week, the Olympic sports would enter the actual venue layout, rehearsals, and so on. Today was the final review of the venue layout plan by Chenfei Media. Therefore, the main staff of Chenfei Media came. Everyone made up for the shortcomings and worked together to improve the plan. Originally, Lu Chen did not want Chenfei to come, but the latter insisted. According to Chenfei she was not so delicate. She was just pregnant, and she had held many solo concerts. She had more experience in this area than anyone else. Although this was Lu Chen's concert, for her, it was more important than her own. As for the middle-aged man in charge of the presentation, he was the deputy general manager and engineer of the performance company. Just as he was talking enthusiastically, the door of the conference room was suddenly pushed open. An employee of Chenfei Media came in. She walked quickly to Lu Shi's side and leaned over to whisper a few words in Lu Shi's ear. Lu Shi's face changed. She got up and said, "Manager Wang, thank you for your explanation. Can you change the content to tomorrow?" The middle-aged man was not a fool. He quickly replied, "No problem, we will make an appointment tomorrow." Lu Shi smiled and said, "Thank you." After sending away the people of the performance company, Lu Shi came back and said to Lu Chen and Chenfei, something happened. Lu Chen held Chenfei's hand and asked in a deep voice, "What happened?" No matter what happened, first of all, he couldn't let the pregnant Chenfei worry about him. "It's not a big deal," Lu Shi frowned and said, "There's a little girl." Lu Chen listened quietly to Lu Shi's words, then asked, "Is she okay now?" "She should be fine," Lu Shi said. "I have to find out more about the specific situation." Lu Chen thought for a moment and said, "Which hospital is she in?" "I'll go there now." Lu Shi was surprised. "You're going there now?" Lu Chen nodded. "I should go and have a look. If this matter is known by the media, it will be troublesome. We should try to control it as much as possible." Chenfei supported him. "Yes, I'll go with you." Lu Shi said helplessly, that's the only way. Sigh, how could this happen? Children nowadays. Lu Chen smiled and said, look on the bright side. At least nothing serious happened, and we got the news in advance. We were lucky to avoid being passive. She shook her head. Forget it. I'll get someone to prepare a car. I'll go and have a look too. Chapter 897. On the way to the hospital, Lu Chen, Chen Fei, and Lu Shi spent more than an hour gambling in the car. However, during this time, Lu Shi understood the cause and effect of the matter clearly through the relevant people. This matter was not big or small, but it fell on Lu Chen's head. It felt like he was shot while lying down. Although it was very depressed, he couldn't be indifferent. The cause of the incident was Lu Chen's first concert in Beijing next month. The key point was the tickets. A fan of Lu Chen, a teenage girl, was still a high school student. She couldn't get a ticket on the internet. In short, she was very sad. The tickets for this concert were too scarce. There were many people who didn't get them. She was just one of them. It wasn't a big deal. Then Lu Chen and the official V of Chenfei Media organized a ticket lottery. She participated in it, but she didn't have much luck and was disappointed again. As a result, it was a classmate who had a conflict with her who was lucky enough to get a ticket and proudly showed off to her. There was no lack of sarcasm and ridicule. The little girl loved face and was psychologically fragile. She couldn't think it through and cut her wrist. Fortunately, it was found by her family and sent to the hospital in time, so there was no tragedy. For such a case, the hospital arranged for a psychiatrist to provide counseling. Coincidentally, the younger brother of the psychiatrist worked in Chenfei Media, so they got the news as soon as possible. What the hell was going on? To be honest, after understanding the ins and outs of the matter, whether it was Lu Chen, Chen Fei, or Lu Shi, they were very speechless and didn't know what to say. They could only immediately rush to the hospital to see this irrational fan. Lu Shi originally didn't want Lu Chen and Chen Fei, to go there. She was afraid that it would have a bad influence. If the media knew about it, it would be very troublesome. The most troublesome thing was that if there were fans who followed suit, it would be terrible. It sounded a little unbelievable, but such a strange thing had happened. Who could guarantee that there would not be others who followed suit? Some fans were difficult to reason with. Lu Chen's fan circle was too big. It was normal for there to be a few weirdos. We can't blame her even if she goes, Chen Fei, said with great experience. Teenage girls are in their rebellious phase. What they can't take the most is a lesson. Just guide them appropriately. Lu Chen and Lu Shi nodded. After all, the responsibility of educating children depended on their parents, family, and school. As the idol of their fans, it was most important for them to establish a healthy and sunny image. While they were talking, they arrived at the Third People's Hospital of Beijing. The group got out of the car in the parking lot. The psychologist in charge was already waiting there. The doctor's surname was Su. She was in her 30s and had a beautiful appearance. She was quite surprised to see the two big stars, Lu Chen and Chen Fei. She didn't expect that her phone call would summon the most famous couple in the entertainment circle. As a doctor, especially a psychiatrist, we shouldn't divulge any patient's information. Dr. Su took Lu Chen and the others to the hospital's special elevator. As they walked, she said to Lu Chen, "But this girl's situation is a little special. She had a big fight with her parents, and now her mood is very unstable. So it's really great that you could come." "Thank you." Her original intention was to buy a concert ticket through her brother. She wanted to solve the girl's depression first. After that, the effect of psychological counseling would be much better. However, Lu Chen came directly and even brought Chen Fei with him, which made her feel very embarrassed. Lu Chen said, "We should say thank you to you about this." He smiled bitterly. "I don't know what to say." Dr. Su couldn't help but laugh. "I understand very well. I look forward to a happy ending." Under her guidance, the three of them took the elevator to a single ward on the 12th floor of the inpatient department of the hospital. When they entered the ward, a delicate and pretty girl was lying on the bed with an intravenous drip. Her face was pale and she looked like she had nothing left to live for. Next to the bed sat a haggard middle-aged woman who was wiping away her tears. Hearing the door open, the two of them turned their heads at the same time. Dr. Su smiled at the girl and said, "Xiaoya, do you feel better? Someone is here to see you." Lu Chen took 2 steps forward, took off his sunglasses and smiled at her. "Xiaoya, hello." "Ah." The girl named Xiaoya suddenly opened her eyes wide. Her face instantly turned red. She screamed and shrank into the bed, even covering her head with the blanket. Everyone was shocked by her reaction and could not help but look at each other. Dr. Su was indeed a psychologist. She probably understood the girl's feelings at the moment. She leaned over and gently held the girl's hand and said, "Lu Chen is here to see you. I know you are blaming yourself, but you don't want to let everyone down, right?" At this time, the middle-aged woman also recognized Lu Chen and Chen Fei. She was at a loss. She stood up and said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't expect, my child." Lu Shi quickly said, "It's okay. We are all very concerned about Xiaoya, so we came to disturb you." The middle-aged woman said repeatedly, "It's okay, it's okay. Thank you." As she spoke, her tears fell. Lu Shi held her hand and said, "You're welcome. This is what we should do." Xiaoya finally poked her head out from under the blanket. She bit her lip and said, "Brother Lu Chen, I'm sorry. You didn't do me wrong." Lu Chen sat down on the edge of the bed and said softly, "You're sorry to your mother, who cares about you and loves you the most. Promise me, don't do such a stupid thing again, okay?" Xiaoya nodded obediently. "I know I'm wrong. I won't do it again." "That's good." Lu Chen smiled happily and said, "I'll give you a gift." As he spoke, he took out the tickets he had prepared from his pocket and put them on the bedside table. "Welcome to my concert next month." Xiaoya's tears rolled down her cheeks. She knew what a stupid thing she had done. Lu Chen said, "Then this matter will be a secret between us. No one will tell anyone, okay?" Xiaoya nodded hard. Lu Chen was still worried. "Let's pinky swear." Xiaoya smiled through her tears. "I'm not a child." Although she said that, she still quickly took out her left hand and pinky swear with Lu Chen. The atmosphere in the ward became relaxed. Even Xiaoya's mother showed a smile. Lu Chen didn't stay in the ward for too long. After satisfying this little fan's request for an autograph, he left with Chen Fei, and Lu Shi. Xiaoya's mother sent them all the way to the parking lot. On the way back to the company, Chen Fei, said to Lu Chen, "When the child is born in the future, I want to educate him myself." Lu Chen couldn't help laughing. Chapter 898. Beijing, Willow Alley. A very ordinary name, even a bit vulgar and rustic, but this is one of the most essential locations in the super metropolis of Beijing. You can reach the center of the city in 10 minutes after going out for a walk. The long alley is very clean, and the thick bluestone slabs laid on the ground are full of traces of time. On both sides are Sihyuan with white walls and black tiles, each with its own story. It was Lu Chen's first time to come here. He and Chen Fei came to visit the Li family's old house as guests. The one who invited him was the old man of the Li family, Li Mubai and Li Mushi's grandfather. Lu Chen and Li Mubai are very good friends. Not only do they have a good personal friendship with Li Mushi, but they also have a deep interest alliance. The leading figure of the younger generation of the Li family, the two's eldest brother, Li Murong, also appreciates Lu Chen quite a lot. It is precisely because of the friendship with the younger generation of the Li family that Lu Chen and Chen Fei media have been developing smoothly in recent years. Although they have occasionally encountered some trouble, it has not affected anything. It can be said that the Li family is a big tree behind Lu Chen, sheltering him from a lot of wind, frost, rain and snow. However, this is the first time that Lu Chen has been summoned by the Li family's old man. Others say that living in Sihyuan is comfortable. Li Mubai, who accompanied Lu Chen to the old house, said big, I feel very uncomfortable living here. I'm scolded by the old man every day. I reckon that I'll be scolded again when I come back this time. Lu Chen smiled. He still has a good understanding of the Li family's situation. He knows that the Li family's old man retired many years ago, but his influence is still great. Now, the real master of the Li family is Li Mubai's father, and his successor is Li Murong. Li Murong is developing in politics, and Li Mushi is mixing in the business circle. The two are playing very well in their respective fields. As for Li Mubai, he is a standard playful playboy. But to be friends with him is the simplest and easiest. While talking, they arrived at the Li family's old house. Knocking on the heavy door and entering the mansion with more than 100 years of history, Lu Chen and Chen Fei met the Li family's old man and the Li family's grandmother in the front yard. Here, the lively Li Mubai immediately became a good grandson, grandpa, grandma. The old man is in his 70s or 80s, and his hair is basically all white, but his face is ruddy and his appearance is dignified. He looks very energetic. He sat upright on the armchair and replied with an indifferent His eyes were filled with dignity. On the other hand, Grandma Li was very kind and amiable. She smiled and said, Little White, where have you been playing recently? Why didn't you come to visit your grandparents? Look at your grandfather, he's angry. Li Muba shrunk his head and said, Grandpa, Grandma, this is my friend Lu Chen. Li Chen. He has Li. Lu Chen hurriedly stepped forward and saluted politely. Hello, Grandpa Li, Grandma Li. Li family's old man finally showed a smile and nodded. Lu Chen also introduced Chen Fei, to the two elders. This is my wife, Chen Fei, Chen Fei, was much more direct than Lu Chen. Hello, Grandpa, Grandma. I wish you a long life. Li family's grandmother's eyes lit up. What a handsome child. Come, let Grandma take a closer look. Chen Fei, stepped forward obediently, let Li family's grandmother hold his hand, and sat down beside her. Li family's grandmother smiled and said to Lu Chen, You are so lucky to have such a beautiful wife. You must know how to cherish it. Spend more time with your wife when you have time. Don't neglect your family because you work and make money. The old woman's words were very reasonable, and Lu Chen accepted it modestly. The more Li family's grandmother looked at Chen Fei, the more she liked her. She took off a jade bracelet worn on her wrist and stuffed it into Chen Fei's hand. She said, This is the first time we meet, and I don't have any good gifts. This bracelet is an old object, and it's worth some money. Take it. Chen Fei, was taken aback. She knew how precious this emerald bracelet was. Grandma, it's too expensive. Li family's grandmother was unhappy. It's just a plaything. It's not expensive. If you really want to talk about expensive, isn't the thing you asked Xiaoshi to send valuable? Li Mushi contacted Old Man Li to make an appointment with Lu Chen. In order to show respect to Old Man Li, Lu Chen asked Li Mushi to provide a suggestion and bought a June Kiln official porcelain from the Song dynasty as a gift, which cost more than 10 million yuan. This June Kiln porcelain was sent to the old house in advance by Li Mushi. Lu Chen and Chen Fei, also came to visit. The gift was accepted, but the old man obviously didn't want to take advantage of them, so Li family's grandmother gave a bracelet to Chen Fei, But more importantly, she really liked Chen Fei, Thank you, Grandma. Since the words had been spoken, Chen Fei had to accept it and put it on his wrist on the spot. Li family's grandmother was very happy. Yes, this bracelet is very suitable for you. It's very beautiful. Here, the old man motioned for Lu Chen to sit down and said to him, This time I asked you to come here for no other reason. I just heard Mushi talking about you all day, so I wanted to meet you, young man. Lu Chen listened respectfully. The old man continued, I know a little about what you and Mushi have done in the past few years. I don't know anything about music and movies. The online crowdfunding you guys are doing is not bad. It's also a skill to be listed in the United States and earn money from Americans. Recently, the bike sharing that Mushy is doing is very good. I heard that it is also from your plan. This project can well solve the actual needs of the people and has positive and good social significance. While he was talking at length, Grandma Lee was unhappy again. Old man, you invited him over as a guest, not for a class or a meeting. Do you think you still need to worry about national affairs? The old man stared at his wife awkwardly. Lu Chen laughed in his heart. He found that in fact, the two elders of the Li family were not much different from ordinary old people. He quickly smoothed things over. Grandpa Li said it very well. I have a lot to learn from Grandpa Li. Grandpa, Grandma, what are you talking about? At this time, Li Mushy came out and asked curiously. Lu Chen smiled and said, I'm talking to Grandpa Li about bike sharing. When they came out of the Li family's old house, it was already dark. Lu Chen did not let Li Mubai send him. He took Chen Fei for a walk all the way back. There was a car waiting outside. He took Chen Fei's hand and said, let's go home, too. Okay. Chen Fei nodded. In a week, it would be the new year. Chapter 899. Lu Chen and Chen Fei appear at the Third People's Hospital, accompanied by Lu Chen's sister, Lu Shi. Chen Fei is suspected to be pregnant, accompanied by Lu Chen and his brother at the hospital. See a doctor? Pregnant? Lu Chen and Chen Fei's good news is approaching. On the second day after Lu Chen and Chen Fei visited the Li family, EasyNet Entertainment suddenly broke the news. They posted photos of the two in the parking lot of the People's Hospital a few days ago in the entertainment section, and put forward all kinds of speculations. A large number of media outlets reprinted the news, adding all kinds of embellishments. The technical level of these photos was very poor. Obviously, they were not professional photography equipment, nor were they taken by professional paparazzi. In all likelihood, they were taken by passers-by who happened to run into them and secretly took photos with their mobile phones. Although Lu Chen and Chen Fei were wearing sunglasses in the photos, fans who were familiar with the two could recognize them at a glance. Coupled with the fact that they were accompanied by Lu Shi, there was absolutely no reason for them to be wrong. This time, the media was very lively, especially on the Waves blog. All kinds of unreliable gossip spread everywhere, and a large number of accounts claiming to be doctors, nurses, and cleaners of the People's Hospital, or the classmates, friends, and neighbors of the doctors, nurses, and cleaners came out to expose that they had seen Lu Chen accompanying Chen Fei into the obstetrics and gynecology department. Countless fans ran to the blogs of Lu Chen and Chen Fei to ask if the two were really going to have a baby. Is it true? Oh my God, I'm going to be a father in the morning? Poor me, I'm still single. Single +1, I hope to be single in 2019. Have you thought of a name for the baby? I think it should be the happiest baby in the world. The parents are so good looking, and they are both big stars. I hope it's a girl. Of course, Lu Chen quickly saw the relevant news. He simply did not know whether to laugh or cry. What the hell is this? What do you mean by a lucky shot? This was a lucky hit. The media must be making wild guesses to attract attention. It was all for click-through. It was normal for them to fabricate news to please the public. Moreover, there were photos as proof. However, they did not know the truth of the matter, but they guessed another truth, which was that Chen Fei was really pregnant. Currently, only a few people knew about Chen Fei's pregnancy, including Lu Chen, Lu Shi, and Chen Fei's assistant, as well as the doctor from the private hospital who went to check on the pregnancy. It was kept strictly confidential for the time being. Who would have thought that the incident of a small fan cutting her wrist would lead to the possibility of the truth of this very private matter being exposed? After discussing it with Chen Fei and Lu Shi, Lu Chen updated his blog, stating that he and Chen Fei had gone to the hospital to visit the patient, not to accompany her for a pregnancy checkup as the media had speculated. He also thanked everyone for their concern. Such a statement was actually avoiding the important and dwelling on the trivial, but many fans thought that it was refuting the rumors, and the hype immediately subsided a lot. However, there were many people who were misled. Fei is really pregnant? On January 29th, just after the Lunar New Year, Lu Chen took Chen Fei back to his hometown in Binhai with his sister, Lu Shi. As soon as they got home, his mother, Fang Yun, pulled Lu Chen and asked with concern. Lu Chen smiled bitterly. Chen Fei's pretty face was red. Lu Shi looked at her brother gloatingly, and Lu Shui hid next to the sofa and eavesdropped. "What's with your expression?" Fang Yun said discontentedly. "Is what they said true?" "Someone showed me the news. The three of you were photographed in the hospital, and they said that Fei went for a pregnancy checkup?" Of course, his mother was very unhappy. Her daughter-in-law's pregnancy was actually told to her by others, and it was from the media. It was simply unfilial. Lu Chen had to explain, "Mom, it's not like that." He simply told the truth of the incident to Fang Yun. After hearing it, Fang Yun was very disappointed. "So that's how it is." Lu Chen looked at Chen Fei, coughed twice awkwardly, and said, "But one thing is true. Fei is pregnant, and I wanted to tell you this time when I came back." This new year, Lu Chen and Chen Fei cancelled all their performances and went back to Binhai for the new year. One of the important reasons was that Chen Fei was pregnant. "Really?" Fang Yun suddenly opened her eyes wide. "Don't lie to me. How long has it been?" Chen Fei said shyly, "Auntie, it's true. It's been almost 2 months." "You child." Fang Yun glared at Lu Chen fiercely, then immediately took Chen Fei's hand and said very gently, "Why didn't you tell me such a big thing earlier?" Chen Fei explained. Lu Chen said it was better to tell you this in person. Fang Yun asked, "When are you going to get married? You can't just give birth to the child like this, can you?" She loved Chen Fei as her own daughter, and the degree of her care was even more than that of her 2 daughters. Naturally, she didn't want Chen Fei to be wronged and carry on the Lu family's ancestral line without a title. Lu Chen quickly said, "We plan to register after the new year after my concert, and then you will decide the date of the wedding. The wedding will be held in the Maldives and Binhai." He and Chen Fei had already discussed it. The wedding in the Maldives was mainly for friends in the circle, and the wedding in Binhai was for relatives and classmates, so that all aspects could be taken care of. The wedding in the Maldives island of love was already in the pre-preparation stage. When the time was finalized here, they could basically make invitations and then distribute them to the world. Getting married and having a child were the 2 most important things in Lu Chen's life, and they could be completed this year. Fang Yun said in a hurry, "Well, I'll look through the almanac to see which day is more suitable. We have to be as fast as possible, or it will be easy to see when we are 4 or 5 months old." In fact, according to the customs of Binhai, the man's family and the woman's family had to hold a wedding separately. However, Chen Fei's situation was a little special. She left home very early and had a very indifferent relationship with her family. Fang Yun knew this, so she didn't mention it. His mother ran upstairs to look for the almanac, and Lu Shui finally found the opportunity to run over. She pulled Chen Fei and asked with a face full of surprise, "Sister-in-law, I'm going to be an aunt? Is it a boy or a girl?" Lu Shi knocked her head and said, "Don't make trouble. How can we tell if it's a boy or a girl now?" Lu Shui covered her head and complained, "Sister, don't knock my head. I've been knocked silly by you. Are you going to support me in the future?" Lu Chen smiled and pulled Chen Fei to sit down on the sofa. She held hands with the person she loved and listened to her sister scolding her sister. She only felt that her heart was full of happiness. At this point in life, there was really nothing more to ask for. Chapter 900. The sound of firecrackers said goodbye to the old year, and in the blink of an eye, it was New Year's Eve again. This year's New Year's Eve was undoubtedly a happy one for the Lu family. Lu Chen, Chen Fei, and Lu Shi all rushed back from the capital to celebrate the New Year together. Chen Fei was pregnant, so it was a real reunion. They didn't eat out for the New Year's Eve dinner. Fang Yun personally cooked a table full of delicious dishes. Chen Fei and Lu Shi helped in the kitchen, while Lu Chen and Lu Shui were in charge of eating and drinking. The most important thing was for the family to be happy. Before eating, Lu Shi poured a glass of wine. She raised her glass and said, Come, let's have a toast as a family. I wish everyone happiness and safety in the coming year. Lu Chen and Chen Fei looked at each other and smiled. They also raised their glasses, but Chen Fei drank fruit juice because she was pregnant. Everyone toasted together and then started eating. After eating a few dishes, Chen Fei also raised her glass, but she raised it to Fang Yun. Auntie, you've worked hard. I propose a toast to you. I wish you good health and happiness. Lu Shui, who wanted to see the world in chaos, shouted, You're still calling her auntie? You should change the way you address her, right? Chen Fei's pretty face turned red, but she still said gracefully, Yes, Mom, I propose a toast to you. The word Mom made Fang Yun cry. She wiped the corners of her eyes, smiled, and clinked glasses with Chen Fei. She said, You've worked hard too. Lu Chen has a lot of problems. After the two of you get married, you'll have to take care of him. Lu Chen smiled bitterly. Mom said it as if he had not grown up yet. Perhaps in the eyes of a mother, her children would never grow up and need to be taken care of. Chen Fei nodded and glanced at Lu Chen proudly, as if she had grasped an imperial sword. Fang Yun said to Lu Shi, Now that your brother is going to get married, you should think about your own marriage. You can't stay single all the time, can you? After Lu Chen made his debut, he set up a foundation in the capital and opened his own studio. He invited Lu Shi from Binhai, and now she was at the helm of Chenfei Media. In the past few years, without his sister's conscientious hard work, Lu Chen's development would not have been so smooth. Lu Shi not only has to worry about his work in his main business, but also is responsible for supervising the affairs of companies such as online crowdfunding, Happy Entertainment, and so on. In order to safeguard Lu Chen's interests, she has racked her brains. And Lu Shi paid a lot of price for this. She now basically works more than 10 hours a day. She is often so busy that she doesn't even have time to eat. She usually doesn't have much time to take a break, let alone solve life's major events. In fact, in the past few years, it's not that no one has pursued Lu Shi. Although Lu Shi is not very beautiful, her appearance is above the qualified line, and her career is flourishing. But Lu Shi has never been interested in those pursuers. When others send flowers, she doesn't even look at them and asks her assistant to throw them into the trash can. According to her sister, 99% of these pursuers have evil intentions, and she doesn't have the time and energy to screen out the rest, so she shoots them all. It's just that after wasting time like this, her sister, who is over 30 years old, is still single. Fang Yun can be considered a very open-minded mother. On the issue of marriage, she has never forced her children. Whether it is Lu Chen or Lu Shi, she let them make their own decisions. However, as a mother, she can't ignore Lu Shi's personal problems. So when everyone is eating together for the New Year's Eve dinner, it is also to appropriately add a little pressure to Lu Shi. In this regard, Lu Shi just curled her lips and said, If you haven't met the right one, when you meet the right one, you will get married. Anyway, Fei has a baby now, you can rest assured and be a grandmother. Fang Yun glared at her eldest daughter and said, Forget it, anyway, it's good that you know in your heart. By the way, I plan to resign after the new year and go to the capital to take care of Fei. Everyone was shocked, especially Lu Chen and Lucy were even more surprised. In the past, the two had always hoped that their mother could live in the capital, so that it would be easy for everyone to reunite. In the future, when Lu Shui graduated from college and worked in Chenfei Media, the family could all be together. However, Fang Yun has never agreed. She is used to life in Binhai, and she doesn't want to go to the capital to disturb Lu Chen and Chen Fei. She didn't expect that her mother would take the initiative to move to the capital. Lu Chen said with a smile, That's great. Fang Yun said, I want to take care of Fei. Although you are not short of money to hire a nanny, it is not as safe to hire someone to take care of her. In addition, when Fei is pregnant, she needs someone to accompany her. Chen Fei was moved. Thank you, Mom. Fang Yun said, We are family, there is no need to thank me. Lu Shui, who was sitting next to her, stuck out her tongue and said, Then when you all go to the capital, won't I be lonely here alone? What if I miss my mom? Lu, she said, that's simple. I also know a lot of people in the capital. I will ask someone to transfer your school registration to the capital, and you can study in the capital. Lu Shui immediately revealed her true nature. Oh, forget it. I will stay here. At worst, I will go to the capital during the winter and summer holidays. She was reluctant to let her college friend, whom she was already familiar with, go to the capital to adapt again. Everyone laughed. After the New Year's Eve, the past year was really over. At about 12 o'clock in the evening, Lu Chen and Chen Fei posted new blog posts on their respective blogs, wishing all their fans a happy new year and family reunion. Of course, the two also received countless blessings. The next day was the first day of the new year. The family did not visit their relatives, but all took a plane to Dengfeng City. Of course, they would go to the Shaolin Temple on Mount Song, which was proposed by Fang Yun, mainly to pray for blessings and peace. Originally, they used to go to the local temple, but Lu Shui was very interested in the Shaolin Temple, so they decided to go there. Nowadays, the Shaolin Temple was already famous all over the world. With the investment of Chen Fei Media and the success of The Smiling, Proud Wanderer, the 1,000-year-old temple had been rejuvenated and restored the momentum of the Zen jungle. The Shaolin Temple was also very welcome for the arrival of the big financial backer. Not only did the abbot personally receive them, but he also accompanied Lu Chen and his family to visit the temple, and also visited the newly built Shaolin Martial Arts Academy. Lu Chen and his family stayed in Dengfeng for 2 days and returned to the capital together on the 4th day of the first lunar month. At this time, there were only 6 days left before Lu Chen's first solo concert in the capital, so he did not have much free time. He immediately threw himself into the final rehearsal of the concert. Because of the special significance, Fang Yun and Lu Shui would watch the concert together, and Lu Chen also reserved the best tickets for them. Chapter 901. On the 3rd day of the first lunar month, Mercedes-Benz Center. Tonight, in this top luxury car exhibition hall in the capital, a grand event was about to begin. In the VIP room, Lu Chen and several people were sitting opposite each other. The other 3 were all senior executives of Whale TV, including the chairman, CEO, and operations director of Whale TV. Among them, Whale TV CEO Wu Hongming could be considered an old friend of Lu Chen. Before Lu Chen officially debuted, he was discovered by Wu Hongming's niece, Wu Shanshan. Wu Hongming, who was in charge at the time, gave Lu Chen a very good contract and began a 4-year cooperation between the two sides. Over the past 4 years, Wu Hongming and Lu Chen had always been in close contact, and he also relied on his cooperative relationship with Lu Chen to become the CEO of Whale TV. However, on the 1st of last month, Lu Chen's contract with Whale TV expired and was not renewed. Although the contract was over, the relationship between the two sides was still very good. Therefore, tonight, Lu Chen personally attended Whale TV's New Year's Star Anchor celebration, which could be regarded as an official farewell. Also tonight, he will appear in his personal anchor room for the last time to say goodbye to thousands of fans. Of course, this does not mean that Lu Chen will not appear in Whale TV in the future, but it will definitely be in another form, such as a guest or something. Wu Hongming poured a cup of tea for Lu Chen and said with emotion, "The luckiest thing for me and Whale TV is that we signed you. If God gives me a chance to start over, then I want to sign a 10-year contract with you and give you some of the company's shares. It's worth it." Everyone laughed, including Lu Chen. Of course, Wu Hongming was joking. Not to mention that Whale TV couldn't give such a contract at that time. It was also impossible for Lu Chen to sign such a contract. But now, if there was such a chance, and if Lu Chen was willing, then Whale TV would definitely agree and even be very happy. Today's Whale TV has long returned to its original glory, and even surpassed it. At present, it was the largest online live broadcasting platform in the country, with a large number of excellent star anchors and a rising market value. And the re-emergence of Whale TV has a lot to do with Lu Chen. It is precisely because of Lu Chen's famous signboard that Whale TV can attract countless audiences and a large number of talents, especially many newcomers in the entertainment circle who regard Whale TV as the best online platform to attract fans. However, all good things must come to an end. Lu Chen has signed 4 contracts with Whale TV. It can be said that he is extremely benevolent and is very nostalgic. His current net worth is higher than the market value of Whale TV. Of course, he can't continue to hang the name of an anchor on Whale TV, and he even has to give up being a spokesperson. A small temple can't accommodate a great god, and Whale TV certainly understands this truth. Both sides met and parted on good terms. Although the contract will not be renewed, the friendship is still there, and there is a foundation for future cooperation. Boss Wu still loves to joke, Lu Chen said with a smile. He looked at his watch, stood up and said, "It's about time, let's go out." Wu Hongming and the others immediately stood up and accompanied Lu Chen out of the VIP room like stars surrounding the moon. At this moment, the main hall of the Mercedes-Benz Center is already very lively. Hundreds of fans, anchors, and special guests have gathered together. On the brightly lit stage, several beautiful girls are performing vigorous songs and dances, constantly bringing up the atmosphere of the audience. Multiple cameras are pointed in different directions, and the scene is transmitted in real time to the exclusive live broadcast room of Whale TV, as well as to Lu Chen's personal live broadcast room. In fact, at this time, Lu Chen's fans already know that he will no longer sign a contract with Whale TV, and they also know that tonight is Lu Chen's farewell performance in Whale TV, so countless fans specially came to watch, including many people who no longer play live broadcast. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the number of viewers in Lu Chen's live broadcast room broke through the 5 million mark. This is not fake data, but real popularity. Many of them are hardcore fans of Lu Chen in the early years of Whale TV. Although everyone knows that this day will eventually come, they still feel regret and reluctance, as well as nostalgia and memories. In the blink of an eye, it's been more than 4 years, I really can't bear to leave. Yeah, I still have the video of Lu Chen's first live broadcast in my hard drive. Can you not leave? Even if it's only once a year. I like the me singing in front of the computer with a guitar. It's really not easy. Lu Chen has not yet appeared on the stage, and the live broadcast room has already been the main theme of nostalgia and memories. There are also local tyrant fans throwing props, such as aircraft carriers, interstellar battleships, and many fans have cleared all the fish balls in their accounts. To be continued carrot, although these rewards are undoubtedly a drop in the bucket for the current Lu Chen, everyone is just using this way to remember the good times. Next, let's welcome tonight's special guest. On the stage of Mercedes-Benz Center, the host announced in an impassioned tone, Mr. Lu Chen. Warm applause suddenly exploded in the hall, and everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Chen, who had just appeared, making him the unparalleled focus of the audience. Sitting in the audience, there are hundreds of well-known anchors of Whale TV. Many of them are very popular, and some are star artists in the entertainment industry. However, in front of Lu Chen, they are basically no different from ordinary fans. Thank you everyone. Lu Chen took the microphone handed over by the host and said with a smile, "I'm very happy to be able to participate in the New Year celebration of Whale TV, star anchors tonight, because I used to be one of you." While the applause that had just subsided sounded again, louder. Lu Chen waited for a moment and continued, "To be honest, I also missed the time when I played and sang for everyone in the live broadcast room. I was very happy, and there were so many friends and fans who supported me. Here, I want to say to all my friends, thank you. Without you, there would be no me today. I wish everyone happiness and health forever, and happiness." In the thunderous applause, he nodded to the assistant on the sidelines, who quickly brought the guitar. Holding the rosewood guitar that has become his symbol, Lu Chen sat down and faced the audience and cameras. He plucked the strings and smiled, a song of blessing for everyone. "Friend, I will always bless you. Friend, I will always bless you. Friend, I will always bless you." The background harmony sounded quietly, lingering in everyone's ears. "Don't ask, don't say, everything is said without words. At this moment, nestled in the candlelight, let us spend it quietly. Don't wave, don't look back, when I sing this song. I'm only afraid that tears will fall softly. May my smile always remain in your heart and accompany you through every spring, summer, autumn, and winter. How many worries, how many worries. Whether it was at the scene or in the live broadcast room of millions of people, all the noise and noise disappeared completely. Only the song of Lu Chen's playing and singing echoed, stirring people's hearts. It was as if time had frozen at this moment forever. Note, blessing, composer, Guazi/lyrics, Ding Xiaowen. Chapter 902. Ding Dong. Hello, dear passengers, this train is about to arrive at Beijing Station, please get ready in advance. The voice that came from the train's broadcast system woke Su Kai up from his sleep. He immediately turned over and sat up, took out his mobile phone under his pillow, and looked at it. It was already 7:27 in the morning. They had arrived at Beijing. Honey, get up. Putting on his coat, Su Kai pushed his girlfriend, who was sleeping on the soft sleeper opposite him, and said, We're about to get off. Kuyao rubbed her sleepy eyes, raised her head, and asked in a daze, We've arrived at Beijing? Su Kai smiled and said, Yes. His mood was inexplicably excited. He reached out to wipe the foggy window and saw the high-rise buildings flashing by outside the window. Beijing, here I come. Su Kai and his girlfriend boarded the high-speed rail to Beijing at 9:00 last night. After a 10.5-hour journey, they finally arrived at the city he had been longing for a long time. This time, Su Kai deliberately asked for a few days off from the company and brought his girlfriend to Beijing for three main purposes. First of all, of course, it was to fulfill one of his past wishes, which was to go to Beijing to play, visit the Forbidden City, climb the Great Wall, and enjoy the scenery and beauty of the capital of the motherland. Second, it was to bring his girlfriend to celebrate a special Valentine's Day. Tomorrow was Valentine's Day in 2019. Although the two had spent several Valentine's Days together after falling in love with Kuyao, the previous Valentine's Days were just the usual routine of eating and watching movies. There was nothing new and not very romantic. This time, Su Kai was making up to Kuyao. The last and most important purpose was to attend Lu Chen's A Lifetime of Love concert that would be held at the Beijing Olympic Sports Center tomorrow night. This was also Lu Chen's first solo concert. Kuyao was a fan of Lu Chen. This concert was of great significance. The tickets sold online were sold out in a few seconds, and those who could get one were considered lucky. As for Su Kai, he did not rely entirely on luck to be able to buy the tickets, and two of them at that. He had anticipated the possibility of the tickets selling like hotcakes, so he wrote a small program to buy the tickets and hung it on the company's computer to buy the tickets. Relying on the company's network speed of up to 1000 m, he finally got what he wanted. In fact, Deep Sea was one of the stops on Lu Chen's nationwide tour, but the significance of the first show and the branch shows were very different. In addition, it happened to be a special day like Valentine's Day, so the Beijing Olympic Sports Stadium was Su Kai's first choice. If he didn't get a ticket, he would consider continuing to fight for tickets for the Deep Sea station. After getting the tickets, Kuyao was very happy and gave him a lot of sweet rewards. Although the ticket and hotel fees for this concert in Beijing were not cheap, Su Kai felt that it was completely worth it. Furthermore, he had prepared a special Valentine's Day gift for Kuyao. Su Kai touched the small square box in his pocket and smiled. What are you laughing at? Kuyao, who had just woken up, pushed her boyfriend and said with a disgusted expression, Why are you smiling so lewdly? Su Kai grinned and said, It's nothing. It's so weird. Kuyao was skeptical and pushed him again. Hurry up and pack your luggage. The two of them had just finished packing their luggage when the high-speed train stopped at the Beijing station. They got out of the car and took a taxi to the hotel they had booked. At the pickup point of the taxi, Su Kai and Kuyao waited in line for more than an hour before it was their turn. Because there were too many passengers waiting in line. However, this did not diminish the excitement and enthusiasm of the two of them. This was Kuyao's second time in Beijing. The last time she came to Beijing, she was still very young and was brought up by her family. She did not leave much of an impression. Now that she was spending Valentine's Day with her boyfriend, the feeling was completely different and fresh enough. The taxi drove forward for a few hundred meters, and the middle-aged driver asked, "Where are you going?" Su Kai replied, "Sir, please take us to the 5-Ring Hotel, the one next to the Olympic Sports Center." "I know," the driver smiled and said, "Are you here to watch Lu Chen's concert?" Su Kai and Kuyao were both shocked and asked in unison, "How did you know?" This middle-aged driver was simply prophetic. Could it be that a taxi driver in Beijing had to learn fortune-telling? The middle-aged driver laughed and said, "I guessed it. Yesterday, I took 3 trips to the Olympic Sports Center. 1 trip to the 5-Ring Hotel where you are staying, and 2 trips to the Thousand Leaves Hotel. They are all from other places who came to watch the concert. So that's how it is." Su Kai and Kuyao suddenly realized that this was really a coincidence. The middle-aged driver asked again, "Your hotel has been booked, right? If you haven't, there will definitely be no rooms left now." "They have all been booked." Su Kai smiled and said, "I booked it a long time ago." "That's good." The driver was actually a little disappointed, but he immediately changed the topic. "There are so many people coming to watch Lu Chen's concert this time. Many of them are from other places. Actually, I also like Lu Chen's songs, such as I Love You China." As he spoke, he directly sang, "I love you China, I love you China, I love you vigorous seedlings in spring, I love you golden fruits in autumn, I love you green pine temperament, I love you red plum character." The middle-aged driver was fat and strong. Not only was he eloquent, but he also sang very well. Not only did he sing, "I Love You China," perfectly, but his voice was also very powerful and accurate. This was also a major feature of Beijing taxis. Most of the drivers were very good at speaking. Many of them had no problem doing crosstalk. All kinds of jokes would jump out one after another. It was not rare for them to be able to sing. After singing a section, Kuyao immediately applauded. Su Kai gave him a thumbs up and praised, "That's amazing, master." The middle-aged driver beamed with joy. He touched his head and said with a smile, "My singing is actually average. The main thing is that the song is good. This song is really well written. I have listened to it hundreds of times. The more I listen to it, the more interesting it becomes. My daughter is also a fan of Lu Chen. She is still a high school student. She has all of Lu Chen's records. She also wanted to watch this concert, but she didn't manage to get a ticket. It saved me a lot of money." It was the morning rush hour, and the taxi was not unexpectedly stuck on the way to the hotel. However, Su Kai and Kuyao did not find it difficult because they could talk about Lu Chen and his songs with the chatty middle-aged driver. Finally, when they arrived at the hotel and bid farewell to the middle-aged driver, the two of them still felt that they had not finished talking. And just this morning, there were many people like Su Kai and Kuyao who had come to Beijing to watch Lu Chen's first concert. They had gathered in Beijing from different places just to participate in this music feast that could not be missed. Chapter 903. February 14th, Valentine's Day, Beijing Olympic Sports Center. Starting at 2:00 in the afternoon, traffic control was implemented on the roads around the Olympic Sports Center. Many traffic police appeared on the often congested sections, directing the traffic to pass in an orderly manner, and conducting safety checks on some vehicles. Under normal circumstances, such a situation means that the Olympic Sports Center is about to hold a major international competition, and the security measures inside and outside the center and around the venue will be upgraded a lot. But there is no competition in the Olympic Sports Center tonight, but Lu Chen's first solo concert will be held. Because of the large number of people who came to watch, Chinfei Media applied to the relevant departments in advance and got approval and assistance. When night slowly fell, the large square in front of the Olympic Sports Center was already crowded with people. The fountain in the square spewed out columns of water, reflecting colorful light under the illumination of the night lights. A huge advertising curtain with an area of more than 1,000 square meters fell from the top of the circular arc of the central venue. In the picture, Lu Chen stood in front of the microphone with a guitar in his arms, with a faint smile on his face, and thousands of roses bloomed behind him. The three-dimensional title of Lu Chen's solo concert of Zhonghua Automobiles, A Lifetime of Love, was particularly eye-catching under the spotlights. As the leader of the domestic car industry, Zhonghua Automobile has always had a good relationship with Lu Chen, who is also the spokesperson of Zhonghua Automobile, with an endorsement contract signed until 2020. Although Lu Chen has earned astronomical remuneration for ordinary people through this endorsement contract, Zhonghua Automobile has also reaped double returns with the help of Lu Chen's healthy image and huge popularity. Therefore, they beat many competitors at all costs and won the naming right of Lu Chen's national concert tour. Although the naming fee has not been announced, there are rumors in the industry that it is more than 100 million yuan. This is really amazing. It should be known that Lu Chen's national tour has a total of 8 stops, including Beijing. On average, Zhonghua Automobile has to pay more than 10 million yuan for naming fees for each concert. Many first-tier and second-tier stars may not even have that much advertising fees in a year. But for Lu Chen's fans, it didn't matter who the title sponsor was. They didn't care about the title sponsorship fee. After waiting for 4 years, these mourning fans had finally waited for this moment. As for Lu Chen's first concert in Beijing, it also received the attention of various parties. Basically, all the major media outlets involved in the entertainment industry sent their reporters to interview and film the concert. Some of the media outlets even had quite a strong lineup. From the ticket gate in front of the stadium to the square, there were many reporters filming, and the place where most of the cameras were gathered was undoubtedly the VIP passage, which was heavily protected. Because tonight, more than half of the entertainment circle had come. According to the usual practice, when the tickets for tonight's concert were sold online, Chinfei Media held back some of the VIP tickets and gave them to their partners and friends association units. There were almost 1,000 tickets in this part. Beijing Television, Zhidong Satellite TV, Haijin Satellite TV, Shonan TV, Crown Pictures, Land Pictures, Flying Stone Records, QQ Music, Waves and so on, all have different numbers of tickets. In addition, Lu Chen's and Chinfei's friends in the circle also received free tickets. These tickets were extremely popular, especially in the entertainment circle in Beijing. Many star artists who got tickets showed off their shows on blogs, and there were also rumors that several small stars in a certain company had fallen out because of the distribution of free tickets. In fact, Lu Chen basically didn't know these star artists. At most, they had met and shook hands on certain occasions, or had a few polite conversations. But they were all proud to attend Lu Chen's concert as VIP guests. Someone deliberately counted on the Waves blog, and then counted many people who didn't show off their tickets but would definitely come to support. Finally, they came to the conclusion that at least half of the entertainment circle would be gathered at the Olympic Sports Center tonight. However, no one would be surprised or incredulous by this, because now Lu Chen was not only the most valuable and popular top star in the entertainment circle, but he also had the magic power to turn stone into gold. He was very influential in the circle. How many people wanted to take advantage of this hot spot? Therefore, a large number of media came to compete for the news. Starting from 6 o'clock, luxury cars with special passers-by stopped in front of the square. Star artists got out of the cars and entered the venue through the VIP passage. Although the concert in the evening was not a film or music awards ceremony, and there was no red carpet or signature wall, the star-studded scene was no worse than any grand ceremony. It also attracted the paparazzi and entertainment reporters on both sides of the passage to go crazy, and the flashes went on and off one after another. Chen Guizhi came, Tan Hong came, Lu Gangxing came, Shifang also came, Liao Jia, Xu Jing, MSN Group, Little Tigers Group, the Bionics, North Needle Band, one big star after another, all of them were demonstrating Lu Chen's strong network. However, these friends of Lu Chen in the circle all declined the on-site reporters' interviews and directly entered the venue without stopping. The reporters had to turn their attention to other stars. Fan Qi, can I ask you 2 questions? Mr. Wang Jiqiang, did you come from Taiwan? Li Wei. Let's take a photo. These second and third-tier star artists and singers were very good at giving face to the reporters. They either stopped in the passage to pose for photos, or walked to the side to talk to the interview microphone. I'm a fan of teacher Lu Chen. I've liked him since his first song. The artist who was being interviewed by EasyNet Entertainment reporters was Gan Yingying, a film and television star who had recently debuted. She did not hide her love and admiration for Lu Chen. I'm very lucky to be able to come to the Olympic Stadium tonight to watch teacher Lu Chen's concert. I'm really happy. The reporter asked, if you meet Lu Chen later, what will you say to him? Gan Yingying said with a smile, I will first ask teacher Lu Chen for an autograph, and then wish him a successful concert. The reporter asked again, anything else? If there is, she thought for a moment and said, I hope that one day, I can cooperate with teacher Lu Chen once. Then I won't have any regrets. The same scene was playing out in different places in the VIP passage. Not far away, the 10 ticket checkpoints that were opened at the same time had long been lined up. Countless fans were holding tickets and identity cards, anxiously waiting to enter. Outside the venue, there were many fans. Some of them didn't have tickets, but they just came here to experience it. It was like a pilgrimage. Chapter 904. At 7:10 in the evening, in the VIP lounge of the Olympic Sports Center, it was like another world. The thick walls blocked all the noise from the outside world, making the room with fashionable decorations very quiet. On the black coffee table, there was an exquisite tea set, and the faint fragrance of tea wafted in the air. Lu Chen and Chen Fei are snuggled up to each other on the soft sofa, quietly enjoying their time alone. Are you nervous? Chen Fei put her face on Lu Chen's shoulder and asked with a chuckle, my first solo concert. Lu Chen thought for a moment and replied, a little bit, not as nervous as I expected. It feels like I'm going to participate in an important ceremony to fulfill my wish. As he said this, he turned his head and kissed Chen Fei's face. Happy Valentine's Day. Where's the gift? Chen Fei asked impatiently, only a bouquet of flowers? This morning, Lu Chen gave her a bouquet of roses, and now the bouquet of flowers was placed in the lounge. Of course, Chen Fei didn't really care what gift Lu Chen gave her. A bouquet of flowers or a single flower, as long as it could represent the sincerity, was enough. She deliberately asked this question to attract the mood, and also to distract Lu Chen's attention and let him relax. In terms of holding a concert, Chen Fei's experience could beat Lu Chen's in seconds. Lu Chen said with a smile, of course not, but it's a secret for the time being. I'll give it to you later. Humph. Chen Fei rolled her eyes at him proudly and pulled out a long box from under the coffee table in front of her. This is my gift to you. I put more effort into it than you, right? Lu Chen was more or less surprised, and immediately said with a smile, thank you, wife. The box was really big, and it was wrapped in colored paper, so it was not clear what was inside. Chen Fei said happily, open it and have a look. Lu Chen nodded and immediately tore open the wrapping paper. Inside was a guitar case. The golden emblem on the surface of the case didn't belong to any famous brand, but Lu Chen, who had a deep understanding of guitars, recognized it at a glance. It was the exclusive logo of the master luthier Prandello. Prandello was the best guitar maker in the world. It would take him a few months to half a year to make a guitar. If it was a custom-made one, it would take even longer. Prandello's handmade guitars were seen as treasures in the industry. Many big names in the music industry were proud to own one of his guitars, but it was not easy to order one. You couldn't buy one even if you had the money. Lu Chen didn't expect Chen Fei to give him a handmade guitar as a gift. He almost couldn't wait to open the guitar case. A velvet-wrapped guitar appeared in front of him. It was breathtakingly beautiful. Lu Chen had played with a Prandello guitar before, but compared to this one, it was much worse. It was definitely a work of art that could make lovers go crazy. Chen Fei leaned against Lu Chen and said, I ordered this the year before last. I just got it last month. Do you like it? Lu Chen answered without hesitation, I like it. Compared to the guitar, he liked Chen Feier's sincerity and care for him more. With a wife like this, what more could he ask for? Chen Feier smiled, as long as you like it. Hurry up and try the sound. Lu Chen rubbed his hands, I'm a bit reluctant to take it out. Many people bought Plandello's works for collection. Occasionally, they would play with it carefully. Very few people actually played with it. But this actually went against the purpose of an instrument, because an instrument was used to perform. Lu Chen took out the guitar and tried the feel and sound. Sure enough, it was impeccable. Then I'm going to use this guitar to sing a song tonight, ta-ta. Right at this moment, someone knocked on the door of the room. Lu Chen and Chen Feier looked at each other and smiled. Lu Chen put the guitar back in the case and said loudly, come in. One of his assistants opened the door but didn't come in. He stuck his head out and said, Brother Chen, it's almost time. Lu Chen nodded, got it. When the assistant closed the door again, Chen Feier kissed Lu Chen gently and said, go ahead, I'll be here watching you. Perform well. Lu Chen opened his arms and hugged his girlfriend. Then he got up and left the lounge. His moment of glory was about to arrive. At this moment, in the main stadium of the Olympic Sports Center, more than 80,000 seats were full. Countless enthusiastic fans held up support sticks and fluorescent signs. The bright light was brighter than the stars in the sky. Tonight's concert officially started at 7:30. Now it was 7:25. The audience began to get excited. No one knew who started it, but the whole stadium was filled with cheers. Lu Chen. Lu Chen. Lu Chen. Everyone couldn't wait to see Lu Chen appear on stage. As time went by, the cheers didn't stop. Instead, they became louder and more enthusiastic. Lu Chen, those fans who liked Lu Chen seemed to want to vent the emotions they had been waiting for 4 years. At this time, it made the concert that hadn't officially started reach a climax. At 7:29, the lights on the stage suddenly dimmed, and the smoke machines around the stage released a large amount of dry ice-white fog. The giant LED screen that served as the background of the stage, as well as the 3 screens suspended in the air, showed the countdown at the same time. 20, 19, 18. The cheers of the audience turned into a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. 0. The whole stadium suddenly became extremely quiet. Time seemed to freeze at this moment. Only the gentle strumming of the guitar quietly passed into everyone's ears. That was such a familiar melody. In the center of the stage, the lifting platform that had sunk below slowly rose and a spotlight suddenly fell. It shrouded Lu Chen. Lu Chen was wearing a pair of worn jeans and a t-shirt worth at most 20 to 30 yuan. He sat on a stool with a guitar in his arms, facing the microphone and camera with a faint smile. In his first solo concert, Lu Chen gave everyone a big surprise. His clothes were simple to the extreme. He didn't look like a billion-dollar superstar at all, but an unknown, drifting singer who struggled and worked hard at the bottom of society. That's right. Only those who were Lu Chen's first and most hardcore fans understood that Lu Chen's outfit was exactly what he looked like when he sang in the bar and on the live platform. As time went by, his original intention didn't change. No matter how the world changed, he was telling everyone. Lu Chen was still the same Lu Chen. And the song that touched countless people and was sung by countless people today. Chapter 905. Tomorrow, will you remember the diary you wrote yesterday? Tomorrow, will you still remember the you who loved to cry the most? The teachers can't remember. When the familiar voice sounded, countless fans were moved, especially those who loved folk songs. They couldn't help humming along. This song could almost represent an era in the music industry. Who married the sentimental you? Who read your diary? Who tied up your long hair? You Who Sat Next to Me was Lu Chen's famous work, a representative work of campus folk songs. This song was first sung by Lu Chen in Forget Grass Bar, and then appeared on the live broadcast platform. Many fans knew about Lu Chen through this song, got to know Lu Chen, and fell in love with Lu Chen. In their hearts, Lu Chen would always be the young singer wearing jeans and a t-shirt, holding a rosewood guitar in his arms, playing and singing by himself, gentle and handsome, with the sunshine of the boy next door. Just like Lu Chen sitting on the stage at this moment. Time passed, and nothing seemed to have changed. Those little bits of beautiful memories floated in people's hearts, making them cry unconsciously. You used to be very careful, asking me to borrow half an eraser, and you once accidentally said that you liked me. Some people had already shed tears, for the lost youth, for the lost first love. Lu Chen's singing weakened, and the chorus of the audience was like a surging tide, one wave higher than the other. This was the most emotional opening. La la la, when Lu Chen finished humming the last line, the song reverberating in the main venue of the Olympic Sports Center turned into cheers and applause. Everyone clapped desperately. Other than that, there was no other way to express their inner feelings. Lu Chen put down the guitar, which was given to him by Lu Shui for his 18th birthday. It accompanied his college career, accompanied him to Beijing, and accompanied him to fame. In the eyes of fans, this guitar was inseparable from Lu Chen. Thank you. Lu Chen took down the microphone and stood up. Facing the tens of thousands of audience, he said, "Thank you for accompanying me to sing this song, you who sat next to me. In the blink of an eye, 4 years have passed, and we have all grown up. No matter how much regret you have, no matter how helpless you feel, please remember that I will always be with you." The next song is Lost Years. The applause started but quickly subsided, because no one wanted to miss a single second of Lu Chen's singing. It was still his solo performance, and it was still the same nostalgic ballad that touched the heartstrings, but for Lu Chen's fans, it was the sound of their hearts that they would never get tired of. Flowers with snow falling in the wind, germinate in our memories. Those red and green colors are our youth. Our ambitions are limitless, but in the blink of an eye, we have already gone our separate ways. Walking alone on the street, I can only see the sunset. Time is like flowing water, urging us to grow up. Our young hearts have turned white. It was as if he was not in a stadium with 80,000 people, as if he was not sitting on a huge stage, as if there were not so many lights and cameras around. It was as if Lu Chen was in the Forget Grass bar, sitting in front of the live microphone and camera. He was concentrating on playing the guitar, singing his own song, and telling his own story. Those past stories, the lost youth, many people were moved when they heard the previous song, You Who Sat Next to Me, but when they heard the song, Lost Years, which was far less popular, they unknowingly shed tears. Because what Lu Chen was singing was also their story. In the front row of the audience, Chen Jinhao and Sister Na were holding hands, and their hearts were very emotional. Chen Jinhao and Sister Na were no longer young. They had experienced countless ups and downs, so naturally, they would not be easily moved by anything. But looking at Lu Chen who was playing and singing on the stage, the two could not help but recall the past related to him. Lu Chen, who had just come to the Forget Grass bar to work, had never shown his talent in music. Chen Jinhao was willing to take him in mainly because of his outstanding appearance, which could attract some drinkers. If this reason was said now, it would definitely make countless people laugh their teeth off. But at that time, how could Chen Jinhao have thought that in just a few years, Lu Chen would stand in a position that everyone looked up to? Now Chen Jinhao was extremely glad that he had made this friendship with Lu Chen, which allowed him to get a lot. For example, sitting by his side, he needed to protect and respect his wife for a lifetime. At this moment, Sister Na's heart was full of pride. She was proud of Lu Chen, and she was also proud of Lu Chen. She would not tell others that she had once patted Lu Chen's shoulder and praised him for singing well. She had also helped Lu Chen resist the jealousy of other bar singers. She had also secretly stuffed a few hundred yuan into Lu Chen's pocket. She would also not tell others that she had always regarded Lu Chen as her own brother, the kind that was very close. Now, this brother was no longer the slightly immature young man. He had already spread his wings and soared into the sky. But in Sister Na's heart, Lu Chen would always be the little singer who was nervous and trembling when he first appeared on the stage. She gave her blessings for Lu Chen, her sincere blessings. The people of the past, where are you now? Are you also looking for the home of your dreams? On a fixed position on the upper right side of the stage, a high-definition digital camera's lens was always aimed at Lu Chen. The picture it shot was not like other cameras, which would be constantly cut to the big screen by the director. The signal of this camera was connected to the internet and was linked to a special live broadcast room of Whale TV. Only people with a specific account could log into this live broadcast room. The number of viewers was not very large, maintained at around 10,000, and it was very special that there was no gift function, nor could they use any props. This was the only online live broadcast point of Lu Chen's first concert in the Olympic sports. It was specially provided for those die-hard Lu Jiejun fans who did not buy tickets, so that they could cheer for Lu Chen at the first moment. Some of these fans could even be traced back to Lu Chen's live broadcast on the Starlight Show. They could be called Lu Chen's most loyal and oldest die-hard fans. And Lu Chen's songs, You Who Sat Next to Me, and Passing Years, brought them both good memories and sad nostalgia. The live stream was quiet. There were no bullet screens flying all over the place, and there were no extravagant gifts. Instead of saying that everyone was listening quietly, it was more accurate to say that they were feeling the pure and clear emotions that the song brought to them. Everything seemed like yesterday, and they only wished that time would stop at this moment forever. Chapter 906. There were no gorgeous lights, no beautiful dancers, and even no soundtrack accompaniment. There was only Lu Chen alone, holding the guitar on the stage and singing one folk song after another. You Who Sat Next to Me, The Passing Years, Love in the Wind, Those Flowers. With the guitar in his hand, he led the audience of 83,000 fans to review a period of folk songs, the history of campus folk songs, which made people reminisce and nostalgic. The familiar melody, the familiar voice, and the feelings that have never changed made many people cry. Many fans sang with Lu Chen from You Who Sat Next to Me. Often Lu Chen sang the beginning, and then the whole audience sang the chorus. Such a scene was really rare at a solo concert of a star. The folk songs that carried Lu Chen's glorious years ended with The Bright Times of Youth. He finally put down the guitar. The surrounding lights were dim, and only a spotlight fell on Lu Chen. In the darkness behind him, the staff at the scene were rearranging the stage as quickly as possible. Thank you for singing so many songs with me, Lu Chen said into the microphone. It makes me feel a little embarrassed to ask everyone to pay for tickets. There was a burst of laughter in the audience. Everyone felt very cordial. Lu Chen's words now seemed to be talking to everyone, and the distance between them was rapidly shortened. Lu Chen continued, well, in order to express my gratitude to everyone, all friends here tonight, you will get a mysterious gift. Wow! There was an uproar in the audience. No one thought that there would be a gift for watching the concert tonight. Someone asked loudly, what's the gift? I heard. Lu Chen smiled and pointed in the direction of the voice. This friend asked what the gift is. Then of course I won't tell you, otherwise, what's the mystery? Laughter and applause sounded again. Lu Chen made an apologetic gesture. I'm sorry that I can't tell you now, but I promise that this gift is very special and won't disappoint you. But please remember to register your address on the ticketing website with your own account. Otherwise, we won't be able to deliver it. Then next, he looked back and said, Nirvana, please. 5 bright beams of light instantly fell from the dome and fell on the 5 band members behind Lu Chen. Please allow me to introduce you to our lead guitarist, Wang Jing. Wang Jing held her guitar and bowed to the audience. She quickly strummed the strings and played a short and exciting solo. The girl had short hair and wore a checkered shirt. She was clean and neat from head to toe. Coupled with Big's good looks and superb skills, she immediately won a round of enthusiastic cheers from the audience. Guitarist Wang Hui. Bassist Ouyang He. Keyboardist Wen Yuan. And our drummer Yang Xiaoyi. Every time Lu Chen called a name, that person would play a solo, constantly provoking the audience's mood. The predecessor of the Nirvana band was Nirvana Music Studio. At that time, the band was not professional. It was more like playing around. No one knew it when they went out to perform. But since Lu Chen acquired Nirvana, the renamed Nirvana band was like a phoenix rising from the ashes, shining with unprecedented brilliance, quickly standing out in the circle with the name of Lu Chen's royal band. In the past 4 years, the members of the Nirvana band have not changed, but the lives of each member have been completely different because of Lu Chen, which can be said to be earth-shaking changes. Wang Jing has a particularly deep feeling about this. Her eyes couldn't help but freeze on Lu Chen in front of her, and her eyes were filled with the light of memories. When she first met Lu Chen, Wang Jing's family's music studio was facing the worst situation. There was no business, lack of funds, and the possibility of closing down at any time. Fortunately, Lu Chen gave them a production contract and completed Lu Chen's solo debut album, You Who Sat Next to Me, which completely changed the fate of Nirvana Studios. Although the production level of this album has been criticized by many professionals, thinking that it is completely unworthy of the status of the work in the music industry, but for everyone in Nirvana Studio, it is undoubtedly a glory worth remembering for a lifetime. Then Nirvana Studios merged into Lu Chen Studio, and the Nirvana band became the Nirvana band. Recalling the past, it's like a dream. As the lead singer and guitarist of the Nirvana band, Wang Jing did not forget the help Lu Chen gave her, nor did she forget her secret feelings for Lu Chen. It's just that the current Wang Jing has long buried this feeling deep in the bottom of her heart. To be able to quietly look at Lu Chen and stand behind him, that's enough. Next, I will work with the Nirvana band. The first song is Cultivating Love. A smile appeared on Wang Jing's lips. This is the first new song tonight and the title song of the special album to be released in April this year by Lu Chen and the Nirvana band. A song that she likes very, very much. Why should I be disappointed? Hide your tears to the heart. The past will not lie, don't be embarrassed by it. We don't need to be like this, I think, cultivating the sadness of love, learning to let go of the previous desires, our beliefs, how hard it is to forget. This song was not originally on the list of tracks for tonight's concert. When Lu Chen asked Wang Jing to help him sort out the music score, she accidentally found it on Lu Chen's hard disk. This song has unique lyrics, and perhaps it also contains a moving story. What makes Wang Jing's heart palpitate is the kind of subtle, sad and touching feeling contained in the song. At that time, Wang Jing liked it and tried to suggest it to Lu Chen. Unexpectedly, Lu Chen not only agreed, but also played the song to the Nirvana band. So there is this moment. Cultivating the joys and sorrows of love, our efforts are not simple. Happiness turns into tears, it's a kind of courage. The fantasy of a few years ago, the forgiveness of a few years later, for a face to heal a body of wounds, don't say you miss me, I can't stand it. She doesn't know why, but Wang Jing wants to cry. Maybe after crying, her heart will be completely calm. Some memories can't be forgotten, some feelings won't come back after they are lost. Every love is a practice to make the next love better. Maybe it's really like this. But now, she seriously accompanies Lu Chen and sings for him. Note, Cultivating Love, lyrics, Yi Jiayang / composer, Lin Junjie. Chapter 907. Before the next song starts, after singing, Cultivating Love, Lu Chen's forehead was covered with crystal sweat, but he was in a good mood and didn't have any idea of resting. He smiled at the tens of thousands of audience and said, I'd like to ask everyone to do me a favor. Help? What's the favor? Everyone was very curious, and many people shouted it out directly. Fortunately, Lu Chen didn't keep them in suspense. He immediately went on to say, this favor is actually very simple. First put down the light sticks and support cards in your hands. The fans immediately did so, as if they had practiced it once. Thank you. Lu Chen said with a smile, now pick up your mobile phone, please turn on the flash, and wave it along with the song. The next moment, the prelude of the music sounded, and everyone instantly understood, the brightest star in the night sky. This song is also one of Lu Chen's classic representative works. It is a milestone from his folk style to light rock and roll, and is deeply loved by countless fans. In the auditorium, Thousands of fans raised their mobile phones high, letting the bright lights dance along with the melody of the song, as if they were bright stars in the night sky, interweaving into a gorgeous Milky Way. This scene was clearly recorded by the high-altitude camera, which became one of the most wonderful pictures of tonight's concert, and was imitated by many later singers. The brightest star in the night sky, can you hear the loneliness and sigh in the bottom of the heart of the person who looks up? The brightest star in the night sky, can you remember the figure that once walked with me and disappeared in the wind? I pray to have a transparent heart, and eyes that will cry. The brightest star in the night sky first appeared on the stage of Singing China. Lu Chen won the national championship of Singing China with this work, and set foot on the road to superstar. Later, he reinterpreted this song at many music festivals and attracted many fans. The significance of this song for Lu Chen is actually no less than, "You who sat next to me." Looking back on the past 4 years and singing this song again, Lu Chen's heart was filled with a myriad of emotions. When he was curled up on the narrow single bed in the basement, did he ever think that he would become the brightest star in the night sky and be the focus of millions of people? Fate was such a wonderful thing. He knew very well the source of his success, so even though he had unparalleled popularity and endless wealth, he had never lost himself. Only by not forgetting one's original intention could one walk further and more steadily on the road of life. Always believe in the existence of light. Whenever I can't find the meaning of my existence, whenever I'm lost in the darkness, oh, the brightest star in the night sky, please illuminate my path. The camera swept across the audience and suddenly stopped on a member of the audience. The young fan hugged his girlfriend tightly in his arms and sang along with tears streaming down his face. He cried and sang heartbreakingly. The flashes of the phones around him reflected the tears on his face. The picture appeared on 3 big screens at the same time, and the audience immediately burst into applause and shouts. No one laughed at his fragility and laughed at him for crying like a child, because people with stories are easily moved by this song. Tears are not shameful. What is shameful is the numbness of the heart. In the night sky tonight, Lu Chen is the brightest star, and the 83,000 spectators in the Olympic Stadium are also releasing their own light. The atmosphere of the scene reached a climax in this song, "The Brightest Star in the Night Sky." When Lu Chen finished singing this song, he faced the audience and closed his eyes, listening to the cheers of everyone. He raised his right hand and pressed it on his chest, feeling his heart, as if it was beating strongly with the 83,000 hearts on the scene. After a long time, Lu Chen opened his eyes, put down his hand and said with a smile, "Wait a moment, I'll be back soon." Nirvana band immediately took over the stage, so that the atmosphere of the scene would not cool down. Backstage, Lu Chen was already sweating. He poured his feelings into every song and sang it with all his heart, without any perfunctory or compromise. Naturally, he consumed a lot of physical strength. However, his long-term practice of martial arts made him fully able to withstand such pressure. "It's wonderful." Chen Fei, who was in the backstage, gave Lu Chen a warm hug and said with a smile, "The atmosphere of the scene is so good." Lu Chen kissed his girlfriend on the face and quickly changed into his performance clothes. The Nirvana band had just performed a passionate performance outside, and the brand new Lu Chen appeared again. The applause exploded in an instant, and the audience couldn't wait any longer. Especially Lu Chen's fans, who were reluctant to let Lu Chen leave for even a second. In just a few minutes, their emotions had been brewed to the peak. Cough, cough. Lu Chen coughed twice and asked, "Is everyone ready?" This question is a bit brainless. What are they ready for? But the fans didn't care so much, and immediately replied loudly, "Ready." Lu Chen said with a smile, "Since everyone is ready, let's welcome several big brothers together. They are all good teachers and helpful friends in my life, so the next song will be sung by me and these big brothers. First of all, let's welcome Big Brother Tan Hong." A beam of light shone on the entrance and exit of the backstage. Tan Hong, wearing a suit of casual clothes, waved to the audience with a smile on his face and walked calmly towards Lu Chen. While there was another roar in the stadium of the Olympic Sports Stadium, which was the sound of countless applause and shouts. Tonight, at Lu Chen's first solo concert, Tan Hong's appearance as a guest performance was not too surprising, because in Lu Chen's singing career, Tan Hong's help to him is well known. The friendship between the two was also commendable. Although Tan Hong had already retired from the music industry, he would come to support Lu Chen's solo concert anyway. The two hugged each other, and Tan Hong patted Lu Chen hard on the shoulder. Everything was said without words. Lu Chen continued, "Next, let's welcome Big Brother Lu Gangsheng." The applause and noise that had gradually subsided suddenly rose again, almost overturning the dome of the stadium. Lu Gangsheng was the #1 superstar in Hong Kong, as well as a superstar in film, television, and singing. He was an evergreen tree in the entertainment industry. In terms of domestic popularity, he surpassed Tan Hong. Lu Chen invited two big stars at once, and people couldn't help but look forward to the songs they collaborated on. But it was not over yet. After hugging Lu Gangsheng, Lu Chen said, "The last Big Brother Liao Jia." 3 big brothers, plus Lu Chen, a total of 4 big stars. If they performed a song together, no matter what song it was, it would definitely be recorded in the history of Chinese music. Chapter 908. Lu Chen, Tan Hong, Lu Gangsheng and Liao Jia, 4 big figures in the singing world, stood on the stage together, leaving only shock to the 83,000 audience at the scene. The stars had never been so bright. The age gap between Lu Chen and his 3 brothers was at least 20 years. The 3 of them were his real seniors, and Tan Hong, Lu Gangsheng, and Liao Jia all had unique achievements in different fields of the music industry. However, when Lu Chen stood with them, he was not inferior at all. He was more like a successor. Before they started singing, the atmosphere of the audience had reached its peak. It was simply crazy. Lu Chen, Tan Hong, Lu Gangsheng, Liao Jia. Thousands of audience shouted the names of the 4 people, and many fans were so excited that they cried. How lucky they were. Lu Gangsheng said with a smile, "Thank you, everyone. You are so enthusiastic. It makes me feel that I'm not old yet." Tan Hong laughed. "You will always be 18 years old." This was a joke. Lu Gangsheng participated in a singing competition on Hong Kong's satellite TV when he was 18 years old, thus announcing his debut in the music industry. Decades later, a reporter asked him if he had ever thought about retiring from the music industry. He replied humorously, "As long as there are fans who are willing to listen to my songs, I will always be 18 years old." Lu Gangsheng expressed his love for music in this way. Even if the years passed and he was old, this infatuation had never changed, just like when he was 18 years old. Those who were familiar with Lu Gangsheng all knew this joke and immediately laughed. Lu Gangsheng said, "Why don't you learn from me? You will be so disappointed if you quit so early." The two had known each other for many years. Although one was in Hong Kong and the other was in the mainland, they had a deep friendship. Tan Hong shook his head and replied, "I'm really old and can't sing anymore. I'm not as energetic as you." Hey, Liao Jia, who was next to them, was dissatisfied. "Are you two here to support us or to chat? Do you still want to sing?" Lu Gangsheng and Tan Hong looked at each other and smiled. The former said they would sing, and the latter nodded. As expected of the 2 big brother-level figures, they were able to easily control the atmosphere of the scene with just a few words. This kind of ability to control the situation was really not just for show. However, Lu Chen would never feel like he was being overshadowed by the noisy guests. He was happy to see his brothers perform freely. Liao Jia was satisfied. "That's right. It's rare for everyone to gather, so let's have a good time." He strode to Nirvana and took the bass from O Youngha. Lu Gangsheng took over the position of drummer, Tan Hong was the keyboard player, and Lu Chen was the guitar player. A temporary Heavenly King band was formed. Lu Chen looked at his brothers. When they were all ready, he said to the microphone, "A new song will be sung by me and my 3 brothers. True Hero. I hope everyone likes it." The appearance of True Hero was really unexpected. Tonight was Lu Chen's first concert. At the beginning of the preparation, Lu Chen was thinking about which friend in the circle to invite as a guest. He actually had a lot of choices. However, what he didn't expect was that before he opened his mouth to invite, Lu Gangsheng and Liao Jia took the initiative to contact him. Even Tan Hong, who had long retired, called. According to them, how could little brother Lu Chen not come to support such an important performance? Lu Chen couldn't refuse these three people in any case, especially when they were so enthusiastic. So he had a brainwave and simply pulled out the song, True Hero, from his memory. The four of them sang together. After Tan Hong, Lu Gangsheng and Liao Jia read the music score, they agreed to Lu Chen's proposal without any objection. So, there was a shocking and exciting scene in tonight's concert. Lu Chen, in my heart, there was a dream. I wanted to sing to make you forget all the pain. Lu Gangsheng, under the bright starry sky, who is the real hero? Ordinary people move me the most. Tan Hong, no more hate, no more pain. I hope that there are traces of love everywhere in the world. Liao Jia, use our song in exchange for your sincere smile. Chorus, I wish that your life will be different from now on. This song, True Hero, was a real inspirational work. Not only was the melody moving, but the lyrics were also full of incomparable positive energy. It made people feel emotional. Lu Chen's voice was clean and energetic. Lu Gangsheng's voice was heroic and powerful. Tan Hong's voice was full of emotion and his singing skills were top-notch. Liao Jia's voice was full of vicissitudes with optimism. When the four people's voices alternated, it added a special charm to the work. Although it was a completely new song, it deeply moved all the audience and fans present. At this time, no one applauded or shouted. Everyone held their breath and listened attentively, for fear of missing any note or missing even a second of precious memory. Especially the star artists sitting in the front row of the VIP seats, they were all extremely focused and serious. It was as if they were on a pilgrimage. Lu Chen, seize every minute of life. Liao Jia, do our best to realize the dream in our hearts. Tan Hong, how can we see the rainbow without experiencing the wind and rain? Lu Gangsheng, no one can succeed easily. The four top stars of the singing industry were playing and singing together. They were very relaxed and had a tacit understanding with each other. They exchanged glances and smiled at each other, vividly performing the rich connotation of this song, True Hero. Let the sincere words and happy tears flow in our hearts. When the four of them sang the last line together, Liao Jia suddenly performed a passionate solo, which immediately triggered a tsunami of cheers from the audience. The celebrity guests sitting in the front first stood up and applauded, followed by everyone in the audience. The applause was like a surging tide, repeatedly crashing and roaring in the main stadium of the Olympic Sports Stadium. Such an atmosphere was really hard to describe with words. Only those who were in it could feel it the most. They were really excited to the point that their scalps went numb, their faces flushed, and their bodies trembled. Even the most shy people couldn't help but go crazy. This was the charm of the top stars, and the charm of classic pop music. Awesome! Liao Jia roared after the solo performance ended, waving his long hair like a roaring lion. Even a rational and calm person like Tan Hong couldn't help but be moved. He said, I really can't bear to leave. Lu Gangsheng smiled and said, if you can't bear to, we can sing again next time. We might as well form a band. Lu Chen laughed. I raised both hands in approval. Inadvertently, the 83,000 audience at the venue witnessed a period of history in the Chinese pop music industry. The Bloodstained Line, later known as Asia's most heavenly band, went from a joke to a reality. Although this band only lasted for 2 years, it left the most classic memory for countless fans. Note, lyricist/composer of True Hero, Li Zongsheng. This chapter is dedicated to the memory of the Bloodstained Line band. Chapter 909. Tonight, the 83,000 audience in the main stadium of the Beijing Olympic Sports Center experienced a journey of surprise, emotion, excitement, and reluctance. They were pleasantly surprised that Lu Chen, Tan Hong, Lu Gangsheng, and Liao Jia joined hands to sing together, allowing everyone to witness the birth of a heavenly band, longitudinal line. They were moved by the inspirational and hot-blooded new song, True Hero, but they were reluctant to see the three big brothers leave the stage. It was likely that this would be the only time and the same scene would not be repeated. Although all the audience and fans shouted in unison, hoping that they could return for a comeback, it was a pity. And Lu Chen's solo debut concert continued. For the audience, time passed too quickly. Lu Chen took them to review his musical journey, from folk to light rock, to love songs, and finally to China style. In more than 3 hours, he sang a total of 29 works. Usually, a performance lasted about 3 to 4 hours, and there were about 30 songs. Most of these works came from Lu Chen's 3 albums, You Who Sat Next to Me, The Ordinary Road, and Lu Chen. There were a total of 2 new songs, all composed by Lu Chen, covering all of his classic works, allowing the fans to enjoy a feast of music. However, the concert also came to an end. Lu Chen changed his clothes 3 times and his voice was a bit hoarse. His singing and seriousness to his work consumed too much energy and emotion, but he still persisted with high spirit. The next song, holding the microphone, Lu Chen said in a deep voice, "It's a bit special, because it's not for you, but for the person I love the most." Before he finished, a fan immediately shouted, "Chen Fei, Who else could Lu Chen's favorite be besides Chen Fei, Is he going to confess in public? Today is Valentine's Day. At the beginning, Lu Chen chose to set his debut concert on this special day. Fans, including many media, were speculating that Lu Chen would probably propose to Chen Fei on the spot. The two had been in love for 4 years and had always been regarded as the best couple in the entertainment industry. This relationship that everyone envied was about to blossom and bear fruit. With the popularity and status of Lu Chen and Chen Fei in the circle, marriage would not affect their careers. Wrong guess. Lu Chen laughed and denied it. He smiled and said, "The person I love the most is my mother. She is sitting in the middle of you now. I want to use this song to express my love and gratitude to her." The cameras on the scene pointed to the middle of the first row of the VIP seats in time, and focused on Fang Yun, who was sitting there. Her eyes were full of tears, and there was a gratified smile on her face. For years ago, Fang Yun never thought that there would be such a day. She would sit in a venue with tens of thousands of people to watch her son's concert and share the glory of Lu Chen with everyone. Her heart was full of pride. On the left side of Fang Yun sat Chen Fei. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law held hands and looked very intimate. On the right side were Lu Shi and Lu Shui. The whole family appeared in the camera. Mother Lu. The audience burst into warm applause in an instant, cheering for Fang Yun. Mother Lu was the nickname of Lu Chen's mother by fans. Everyone expressed their deep gratitude to Mother Lu. Because without Mother Lu, there would be no Lu Chen, and there would be no surprise and touching everyone today by Lu Chen. When you are old, and your hair is white, and you are drowsy. When you are old, and you can't walk, and you take a nap by the fire, and remember your youth. How many loved you in your youth? How many admired your beauty, whether they were sincere or fake, but only one person still loves your pious soul. The song that Lu Chen sang for Fang Yun was the song that everyone was familiar with, When You Are Old. It was not the first time that he sang for his mother, but the meaning of this song was different. Sitting in front of the piano, Lu Chen played and sang. His voice was deep and calm, but it contained deep gratitude and love, and it also touched the heartstrings of everyone. Many fans spontaneously hummed along. Only one person still loves your pious soul, and loves the wrinkles on your old face, when you are old, and your eyes droop, and the light is dim and flickering. The wind blows, and your news, this is the song in my heart. There was no sad nostalgia, no wanton madness, no burning excitement, there was only warmth and touching, and the atmosphere of the scene was brought into another world. When I am old, I really hope that this song is for you. When Lu Chen finished singing the last sentence, he stood up and bowed deeply to Fang Yun. Thank you, Mom. The applause of the audience was thunderous. This was the most warm and touching scene of the whole concert tonight. But what about the song that everyone had been looking forward to? Obviously, Lu Chen would not let his fans down. He adjusted his mood a little, and then said, "This song, When You Are Old, is for my mother, the person I love the most, and the following song, it is for the most important person in my life. Chen Fei, This time, the audience did not make a mistake. Thousands of fans shouted in unison, and it was very loud and clear. The camera lens was also synchronized to the shy Chen Fei, Lu Chen smiled and said, "Yes, the name of this song is I Only Care About You." His eyes crossed the distance between the stage and the audience, and met Chen Fei's eyes with tears. "You are the most important person in my life. If I didn't meet you, where would I be, how life is, whether life should be cherished? Maybe I know someone, living an ordinary life, I don't know if there will be love as sweet as honey. Let time not rush, I only care about you, I am willing to be infected with your breath." How many people can find a confidant in life? It's not a pity to lose the strength of life. This was a love song of affectionate confession. It had a beautiful melody and profound and meaningful lyrics. It was a sincere heart and monologue, a sentimental and firm belief in love. The style of I Only Care About You was very retro, inclined to love songs of the 80s and 90s. The arrangement and accompaniment were very simple, which could be said to be quite unlike Lu Chen. But it was precisely this simplicity that could directly hit people's hearts and awaken the yearning and touching of the audience for love. It was undoubtedly one of the most suitable songs to be sung on this special day. "So I beg you, don't let me leave you, except for you, I can't feel a trace of love." In the song, Chen Fei could no longer hold back his tears. Note, I Only Care About You, lyricist, Shinji/composer, Takashi Miki. Chapter 9-10. Perhaps only the appearance of the song, I Only Care About You, could make the atmosphere of the concert in the evening fully match today's special day. The warmth, sweet love and deep attachment made everyone smile from the bottom of their hearts. When Lu Chen finished singing the song, he stepped down from the stage step by step and walked to the front row of the VIP seats. He walked to Chen Fei. All the cameras at the scene were aimed at Lu Chen, recording his image from different angles and constantly switching on the big screen, as if some sacred ceremony was being held. The 83,000 audience at the scene seemed to realize something. Everyone held their breath, no one shouted, and even put down their mobile phone glow sticks and stared with wide eyes. At this moment, no one noticed that on the big stage, the Nirvana band quietly reappeared. Along with the Nirvana band, there were 3 beautiful and lovely girls. MSN. When Lu Chen finally stood in front of Chen Fei, a piano prelude sounded, and then Mu Xiaochu's sweet singing, like clear spring water, flowed into everyone's ears with joy and joy. The Seine River, the coffee on the left bank, I hold a cup in my hand, tasting your beauty. The mouth that leaves a lip print, the rose in the flower shop, whose name was written wrongly. The confession balloon, the wind blows across the street. Flying in the sky with a smile. You said you were a bit difficult to pursue, and wanted me to retreat in the face of difficulties. You don't have to choose the most expensive gift, just the fallen leaves of the fragrant pavilion. Oh, creating a romantic date, not afraid to mess up everything, having you means having the world. With the singing of Mu Xiaochu and the addition of the harmony of the other 2 members of MSN, the lights arranged on the dome of the Olympic Sports Center lit up, and a series of intertwined lights fell on the big stage and the audience. Countless colorful heart-shaped balloons fell from the sky. Ah! The fans couldn't help but cry out in surprise, especially those girls who liked romance. They were so excited that their eyes were shining. They stood up in unison and used their hands to catch the balloons falling from the air. On the 3 big screens, images of roses appeared at the same time. Lu Chen extended his hand to Chen Fei and asked with a smile, "This is another gift I gave you tonight. Do you like it?" Chen Fei's pretty face showed a hint of shyness. She coquettishly rolled her eyes at Lu Chen, then stretched out her hand. This gift was really unique. It could be considered a surprise. Lu Chen led Chen Fei back to the stage. The three girls of MSN retreated into the shadows at the same time, giving the stage to the two people. Their singing became very light and became the background sound. But it was still sweet and moving. Lu Chen pulled Chen Fei to stand under the spotlight, and they became the focus of the audience again. Facing Chen Fei, he knelt down on one knee and took out a jewelry box from his pocket. The whole place was so silent that even a pin drop could be heard. Many fans even clenched their fists and covered their mouths, for fear that they would shout out in excitement. Lu Chen opened the box and revealed the custom-made diamond ring inside. He raised his head and looked up at Chen Fei tenderly, and asked, "Will you marry me? Will you marry me?" Perhaps she had been mentally prepared, or perhaps she had foreseen this moment, but when these words came out of Lu Chen's mouth, Chen Fei still couldn't control her feelings and shed crystal tears. She looked at Lu Chen, who was kneeling in front of her, with tears in her eyes, and countless past events came to her heart. Those heartwarming, sweet, sorrowful feelings. For a moment, Chen Fei was stunned. Then the song urged her, "Darling, don't be capricious, your eyes are saying that I do, say yes. Say yes. Say yes." The fans in the audience went crazy directly. Almost everyone stood up and raised their arms and shouted, "Say yes. Will you marry me?" Chen Fei suddenly came to her senses. She nodded with a smile and said with tears in her eyes, "I do. Will you marry me?" "I do." Applause and cheers exploded again. It was unprecedentedly intense and turbulent. Many fans were so excited that their faces were red. Only by shouting to their heart's content could they vent their excitement at this moment. The second wave of balloons floated down from the sky, and all of them were pink. At the center of the stage, Lu Chen put the diamond ring on Chen Fei's ring finger and made a lifelong promise. He stood up, held Chen Fei in his arms, and lowered his head to kiss her. When he touched Chen Fei's soft and fragrant lips, the past memories unfolded in Lu Chen's mind like a scroll of a painting. Those scenes filled his heart with the taste of happiness. There was also deep gratitude. Lu Chen was grateful to fate for giving him the memory of a world and the person he loved all his life. He hugged Chen Fei, who had become his wife, tightly. This moment was destined to be eternal. Countless flashes lit up, which were taken by the 83,000 people in the audience with their mobile phones. In the shadow of the stage, only 10 meters away from Lu Chen and Chen Fei, Mu Xiaochu looked at the two of them with a smile, but her tears couldn't stop flowing. Although she desperately told herself that this was the result she had always wanted to see, when the result really appeared in front of her, she still cried, laughing and crying alone in the darkness. Maybe one day in the future, when she recalled this moment, she would feel very embarrassed and feel that she was very stupid, but at least for now, she didn't regret it. In the corner of the north stand of the auditorium, Yi Zidong was also smiling, but there were no tears in her eyes. In her heart, she was happy for the man she once liked, but did not have the fate to be with, to find his own happiness, and silently sent her blessings. There was no jealousy, no sadness, maybe a little regret, but time had long erased those unwillingness and regret, leaving only beautiful memories. Buying the tickets for tonight's concert was a coincidence, maybe it was also God's arrangement. In any case, she was here and saw it, and that was enough. The woman in a white dress quietly got up and left quietly, not disturbing anyone. In the VIP seats, Li Mushi whispered to Tian, who was sitting next to her, "Do you want to cry? I can lend you my shoulder to lean on, and I can accompany you to the bar at night to drown your sorrows, how about it?" The two met because of Lu Chen, and their relationship was not very close, but Li Mushi was a little interested in Tian, so tonight, she deliberately sat with Tian. And she knew that Tian liked Lu Chen. When whispering to Tian, it was as if there was an invisible tail wagging behind Li Mushi. Tian smiled and shook her head, and her eyes flashed with bright light. No one knew what she was thinking in her heart at this moment. On Valentine's Day, February 14, 2019, Lu Chen proposed to Chen Feier at his solo concert in front of the 83,000 audience. The 4 years of love between the two had the most beautiful ending. Note: Confession Balloon lyrics, Fong Wenshan / composer, Zhou Jieluan. Chapter 9-11. A trace of throbbing from the heart made Lu Chen wake up from his sleep. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was Chen Feier's pretty face bathed in the morning light. She was staring at Lu Chen with an indescribable gentleness in her eyes. Although she didn't put on any makeup, she was extremely charming. Seeing that Lu Chen had woken up, her face blushed faintly, and she was as shy as an innocent girl. Lu Chen couldn't help but lean over and kiss her on the cheek. He smiled and said, "Good morning, honey." Although the legal procedure hadn't been completed yet, from the moment he put the diamond ring on Chen Feier's finger last night, the two had already made a lifelong commitment. Therefore, Lu Chen called her honey very naturally, and it felt very good. Well, Chen Feier pursed her lips and replied, "Good morning, honey." Lu Chen was overjoyed. This was the first time that Chen Feier had called him honey. It was a historic breakthrough. Even if the two were no different from a real husband and wife, such a mushy dialogue still made Chen Feier feel a little uncomfortable. She quickly lifted the quilt and got out of bed. She said, "I'm going to make breakfast." Lu Chen watched his beloved escape from the bedroom like a little rabbit and couldn't help but laugh. He laughed a little foolishly, but he looked very happy. He got up and washed up. When he went to the small dining room in the outer room, the table was already filled with hot milk, sandwiches, and eggs. There were also buns and rice porridge and other sumptuous breakfast dishes. Since she was pregnant, Chen Feier had turned down all her work arrangements and focused on raising the baby at home. She had nothing to do, so she began to teach herself how to cook. She bought a lot of gourmet recipes and practiced them at home. Although her current cooking skills were still not good, there was no problem for her to make breakfast. "I'll eat first." Lu Chen sat straight down on the seat. Smelling the fragrance of the milk and rice porridge, he had a great appetite. He picked up the chopsticks and ate quickly. While eating, he turned on his phone and browsed the blog. The most romantic proposal on Valentine's Day. Lu Chen proposes to Chen Feier, 4 years of romance bear fruit. Last night, we witnessed a romantic affair. Unsurprisingly, Lu Chen's first solo concert at the Olympic Sports Center and his proposal to Chen Feier became the hottest topic on the blog. And on the homepage of Waves, the top 5 most popular topics were all related to him. This grand solo concert, coupled with the extremely romantic proposal process, caused an unprecedented heated response on the internet. Countless fans came to his blog and sent their blessings. Lu Chen's lips curled into a smile as he read through these messages. "Don't play with your phone while eating." Chen Feier walked out with a plate of freshly fried eggs and pouted, "How many times have I told you?" Lu Chen immediately put down his phone and saluted his wife, "Yes, ma'am." After a warm breakfast, Lu Chen took Chen Feier with him and left the house. Because there was a very, very important thing that needed to be done today. That was to register. As Lu Chen's household registration was still in Binhai, he had to fly to Binhai with Chen Feier to get their marriage certificate. At the same time, he would also attend his second solo concert in Hangzhou on the evening of the 17th. However, before that, Lu Chen still needed to go back to the headquarters of Chen Fei Media because there were several guests from thousands of miles away visiting in the morning to discuss an important contract. "Look." On the way to the company, Chen Feier suddenly grabbed Lu Chen's arm, pointed outside the car and said, "That's our OFO shared bike." Lu Chen turned his head and looked in the direction of her finger. He saw more than a dozen unique and brightly colored bicycles lined up neatly on the sidewalk by the road. The OFO logo was particularly eye-catching. Since February 12, as the creator of the pilotless bike sharing model, OFO shared bikes had been launched in Beijing, Shanghai, Hangzhou, Shanghai, Shacheng, and other first-tier cities in China. This opened the hot prelude to the sharing economy. Chen Feier said proudly. Mushy and sister she have speculated that after our company goes public, its market value will be at least $5 billion US. At that time, I will be richer than you. The idea of OFO shared bikes was Lu Chen's idea, but he did not invest in it. It was jointly founded by Li Mushy, Lu Shi, and Chen Feier. Lu Chen said with a smile, at that time, I will depend on you. Chen Feier smiled and gently leaned her head on Lu Chen's shoulder. She said, I really want to raise you at home, so that other girls won't see you and you won't make other girls sad. Lu Chen suddenly felt guilty. Fortunately, they soon arrived at the company. The faraway guests who visited Chenfei Media were 3 representatives from Hollywood Lion Pictures in the United States. They flew thousands of miles to Beijing to sign 2 contracts with Lu Chen. One was a licensing contract. Lion Pictures was preparing to film the UD-725 incident on the big screen this year. The film was tentatively named Flying Over the Pacific and was expected to invest $150 million US. Since Lu Chen was the most important person in the incident of Flight UD-725, this film based on a real event needs to be authorized by him. As for the other contract, it was an actor's contract. Lion Pictures invited Lu Chen to play the male lead of Flying Over the Pacific, with $12 million US and a 5% share of the global box office. In China, many stars and actors wanted to break into the world's top circle of Hollywood, but most of them failed. Only a few of them were familiar with the industry, but few succeeded. No matter who it was, they had never received such high treatment like Lu Chen. Once these 2 contracts, especially the actor's contract, were revealed, one could imagine how big a sensation it would cause. But for Lu Chen, this contract represented huge benefits and reputation. It was far less important than the certificate he was going to apply for at most a few yuan. Therefore, after meeting with the senior representatives of Lion Pictures, he left the specific reception and negotiation work to Lu Shi. He took Chen Feier on the journey back to Binhai. At the moment when the plane took off, Chen Feier suddenly held Lu Chen's hand and asked in a low voice, Honey, will you love me forever? Lu Chen nodded hard. Yes, I will love you forever. After the end of the national concert tour, he and Chen Feier would hold a wedding on Love Island, and then wait for the birth of their first child. His life was perfect and flawless. The plane flew straight into the sky, towards the infinite beautiful future. End of the book. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.